Hi, and welcome to At Home Art Lessons with the Art Groupies, where we develop great art habits. We're going to be working with this guy, Observant Owen. Observant Owen is going to be like a small little ant who walks across a piece of artwork and notices everything. You need to notice everything about this famous artist, Hokusai. Hokusai was Japan's most famous painter and woodcutter. He was born in Edo, Japan, which is now called Tokyo. He loved to draw. Hokusai was a famous woodblock printer. So he would carve his images into wood and then take the ink and roll it across the wood block and make a print. The interesting part about woodcut prints is that each color that is in a print is a different block of wood. So to line it all up and to make sure the colors are exact is the most amazing type of art. We're going to be inspired by the Great Wave, one of his most famous woodcut prints, along with Van Gogh, Degas, and Monet, who was also inspired by him. So we're going to be inspired by the story, The Great Wave, and it was written by Veronica, Massenot, and Bruno, Pilorget. And it's a story about Hokusai. Aki and Turo were childless. The summer of their lives was nearing an end, but they had neither a boy nor girl to give them joy. The couple had waited very long, and they had tried everything they knew to have a child. They had eaten countless herbs and special foods, and they had prayed fervently and given offerings in the temple. At last, they felt their hope was gone. The child they had so desired did not come. There were many nights of tears and sorrow. But then, suddenly, a miracle. It happened on an icy cold day in winter. The wind raged over the sea and threw mighty waves upon the land. But the men of the village still had to go out to catch fish, for winter was the season of hunger, and no fish meant even less to eat. 3 long ships set out from the harbor. Together they fought the stormy surf, ascending wave after wave to the crest and falling back again into the trough. The men advanced in this way, wave upon wave, waiting for the right moment. They had fish to catch, whatever the cost. Then, just as they prepared to throw out their nets, an enormous wave rose up in the front of them. It rose like a gigantic creature opening its foamy mouth, greedily swallowing up everything before it. Fishermen, nets, boats, everything. The men held their breath in fear, clinging to the ships and ducking down. Some even closed their eyes. When they looked out again, the wave had broken. The brave fishing group had been spared. Soon the sea became as calm as the men's silent relief. But this quiet was penetrated by a small, angry cry, and Turo was heard to shout, "Look, that wet bundle there is a child, a brave new life. The wave had set it down in our boat." Turo's heart beat more wildly than all the drums of the world together. He took the baby boy in his arms, and the crying child fell silent. Turo smiled. The child, so long awaited and so long hoped for, had arrived at last. The happy years passed. Naoki, the boy from the sea, had a mighty appetite. He ate bowl after bowl of delicious rice, yet he did not grow any bigger. Now his 7th birthday was drawing near, and he barely grown up an inch. Aki was worried. Would he always stay so small? And Turo often thought, how could he even become a proper fisherman? But the wise parents had come to know patience. Maybe their child did not want to grow. Maybe they only had to wait a little longer. Wasn't it great joy just to hold such a tiny life in their arms? Naoki waited to grow as well, while all of his friends shot upwards faster than bamboo. The boy often sat on the trunk of an old pine tree that stretched its branches out over the water. As he set Naoki's thoughts drifted across the sea, coming and going like the water's ebb and flow. The thoughts tormented him with his hundreds of questions. Why am I not like the other children? Why did I not come from my mother's belly? Did a woman on a mysterious wave bring me into this world? Who is my real father? Who is my mother? Whom should I truly love? One day, as he was sitting on his tree trunk, Naoki spied a beautiful fish. Beneath him, its scales shimmered like silver, and it swam back and forth excitedly, as if wanting to speak. The boy leaned down, and the fish smiled at him. He leaned down further, and the fish called out his name. Then Naoki leaned as far as he could and fell, leaping into the sea. Underwater, the fish seemed enormous. Its impressive whiskers were curly and black, and its voice rich and strong. "Hello, little man, come with me. I know who can answer your questions." Naoki swam behind him as if, too, he had fins. A boy and the fish got farther from shore. Their surroundings changed. The water became darker and colder, and the current stronger and stronger. Naoki clung tightly to his friend just to keep going. "I thought everything was nice and calm under the sea," the boy said to himself. "I thought you could collect coral, hide amongst the water, play with starfish, and find lost treasures. But the silent fish could not hear Naoki. He couldn't hear his thoughts. And the two dived deeper and deeper into the dark underwater world. Then, without warning, they plunged into a whirlpool, and Naoki was seized with panic. With all his might, the boy pulled at the fins of his scaly companion. The fish reared up and swam more slowly, at last coming to a stop. "Where are you bringing me? I don't want to go further. I'm cold and I'm scared. Please turn around. My parents might be worried. I want to go back to them, and quickly too." At these words, the animal's silvery scales trembled and shone with joy. The back of the fish lengthened and began to move like a wave. Its body became larger and larger, sprouting mighty feet with sharp golden claws from its fins. The fish had turned into a dragon. "Hold on tight," roared the dragon. With a single blow of its tail, the dragon thrust itself out of the ocean, flew over the volcano, and placed the boy gently upon his dearly loved beach. "Goodbye, my friend," he said, from a cloud above the sea. "Go now. You no longer need me." Naoki did not speak. As soon as he felt the sand beneath his feet, he began to run. The happy boy ran and ran all the way to his parents' house. When he finally reached home, Naoki turned around to thank his noble friend. But the dragon was gone. The sea was as smooth as glass, as if nothing had happened. Now it was spring, and today is Koi Nobori, a children's festival. 1,001 carp fish float in the wind, their bodies made of humble cloth. Naoki, looking proudly at his fluttering streamer, it swims in the wind, side by side with those of Toro, his father, and Aki, his mother. All three seemed carried by a great wave filled with love. Joyful laughing is everywhere, for Naoki has grown bigger. The end. So this is the actual photo of Hokusai's The Great Wave. And if you notice here, this is his signature. And if you notice here, these are the boats. And the color blue came from Europe, and he was so excited to put color into his woodcuts. And he did many of them with Mount Fuji in the back. So thank you for joining me and the art groupies to learn about the great Japanese woodcutter, Hokusai. See you later.